All right, let's do a hip flexor stretch. Here's the width looking at it straight on. So this is about where I am. Now I'm going to turn sideways so we can see a little better what's going on. All right, so I got my foot a little bit out in front so that as I load the stretch, my knee and my foot are pretty much, my knee is pretty much over my heel of my foot here. So it's not out in front like this. So I want to have this out enough that I can slide into this just a little and load this hip right here. So I'm trying to load my hip. I'm not trying to stretch my front leg here like I was doing a split, like stretch the front leg here. Instead, I'm after this back leg. So just sliding forward is not going to do it. I also have to take my hip under. So I have to reach down with my abdominals, my stomach, and pull back on the front of the pelvis here so that my hip is under. I need to be under at the hip here. Now while I'm doing that, to get the last little bit, I have to squeeze this cheek a little and push into this hip. And as soon as you do it, you'll know because it's a little uncomfortable. But we need this extension of this hip. We sit and we have this leg out like this so much. We have to get the ability to reach back. This has to be able to go back so that we can extend our hips when we stand up on a swing, for instance, that you can get all the way through your hip, right? If we're finding that there's issues here, this stretch can go a long way towards getting this back. So squeezing at the cheek, sliding in just a little, hip under, and it's going to have to be rhythmic. You may want to hold for a little and then relax. Now my hands here, as you see, I've got my hands so that my thumbs are in the back and under and pushing through and under, almost this way, under. So I don't want to just be bending up here. I want to be reaching back from lower. I'll turn this way. Same thing from the other side. Yeah, and this squeezing, it's just tough to do. It can be tough to want to squeeze this glute here. But reaching through this is what we're after. Connecting the stretch on this side with the squeezing on this side. So connecting, tightening the back of the hip to stretch the front. Now I can add a little reach up here with my arms, up and back a little, but it's just for a little weight. We don't want to exaggerate too much and start bending backwards. It can just be a little reach, just back or around the side, just a little. Just to add a little bit to this in a slightly different fashion, but don't overdo it so that it turns into this. It needs to stay in the hip and turning, or if you're reaching back, reaching right in there, hip flexor stretch.